Hello, welcome again. And we are finalizing on our April 2022 Communication Skills past paper. This is our number 7, which is the last one. And we have 3 questions as you can see on our screen. Question A says, highlight 4 key elements that should be considered when writing a paragraph. 4 key elements that should be considered when writing a paragraph. On to our answer. First of all, you need to know what a paragraph is, and we define a paragraph as a collection of sentences which have been arranged in a specific order to bring out meaning on a certain topic or on a certain subject. So what are these 4 key elements that should be considered when you're writing a paragraph? Assume you are the writer. You want to write about a certain story or a certain subject or a certain topic. So you are starting with the introduction paragraph. What are some of the things that you should consider when developing that paragraph? Number 1, first of all, the order of words, sentences. Because a paragraph is made up of sentences, and sentences are made up of words. So how do you align all those? How do you align them? Are you aligning them in a way whereby they'll be transiting well from one connection to the other, or it will be just a shoddy kind of work? So logical order, meaning you have to arrange your words well, arrange your sentences well so that they can connect from one to the other. Something else is unity. When you talk of unity, in each and every paragraph, talk about a particular thing or a specific thing. You do not mix up things. That is why when you are coming up with a presentation, you normally have the introduction session, then the body, and then the conclusion. So you should not conclude while you are starting, and you should not start while you are concluding. So every part of the paragraph has a meaning, or every part of a certain passage has a meaning. So you should not mix up 2 different things in a paragraph. A paragraph should talk about a certain thing. And that is why you see here, they say there are no sentences that are off topic, meaning the sentences that you use in that paragraph are connecting well and are basically needed for that specific paragraph. And then also we're talking about the issue of coherence. And coherence is a good connection between coherence and logical order, because the flow of in terms of the logical order, we said you should arrange the wordings and the sentences well in a way whereby they transit well from one sentence to the other. And then in terms of the coherence, we're interested in the flow. Is it flowing smoothly together? Are you getting the flow of that specific topic or whatever subject you're presenting about? Is it flowing well? Is there connection from one word to the other? Is there that connection from one sentence to the other? Is it bringing out the meaning clearly in a way that when a person reads the paragraph, will be able to comprehend whatever has been displayed therein or what? So that is also another element that you need to consider when writing a paragraph. And then lastly, we have completeness. And when we talk of completeness, we are specifically emphasizing on the issue of the details. Not so much details, not too little details. Because so much details, that means there's what we call information overload. And then too little details, you are giving something that is incomplete. So give whatever is needed, whatever is necessary. What is unnecessary, leave it out. What is not relevant, leave it out. Only give whatever is relevant for the paragraph to be complete and for all the communication to be complete in that specific paragraph. So that is 7A. And we go to the second part of the question, 7B. And it says 4 commonly used methods of upward communication in business. And upward communication is that kind of communication that happens in a vertical way, but now coming from subordinates or staff in the junior level to the upper level or the seniors. That is upward communication. A kind of communication that has been made by an employee to his boss, or a kind of communication that has been made by an employee to his supervisor. That is what we call upward communication. So what are some of the methods of this upward communication? Examples of upward communication in business. Number 1, grievance procedure. Normally, grievances are solved by superiors or maybe people who are just above you. When the employees disagree, sometimes they cannot solve on their own. They cannot solve whatever conflicts or whatever disputes on their own. They will need their immediate supervisor to be there in order for him or for her to harmonize and basically solve whatever grievance or whatever conflict that was there. So that is the first example of an upward communication. And then we also have counseling. Sometimes employees are exposed to different situations, different kind of scenarios, which in turn bring about stress, frustrations at the workplace, and so on. So sometimes it reaches at a point whereby the employee cannot even concentrate and work properly or work even well in the organization. So they might need counseling. And most of the times, the people to counsel are normally either their supervisors, their immediate supervisors, or anybody from a higher rank, basically, who can come and give some assistance of counseling to this specific employee in order for him or for her to overcome whatever situation he has at hand that is really frustrating him or that is really stressing him out. And then also have reports as another method of upward communication. Reports normally originate from the employees going upward to the supervisors, to the managers, to the CEOs, name it. So a report, when it's written by the staff, given to the supervisor, in turn the supervisor takes the report to the manager takes the report to the executive officers or the board of directors. That is what we call upward communication. So reports are also used as methods of upward communication in business. And then we also have open door policy. And in open door policy, it's a kind of a channel whereby the senior staff or the senior managers, or name it, give a chance for the juniors to come to them in case there is any problem, in case there is any concern. They leave their door open for their junior staff in case there's anything that they wish to share with them. That is what we call an open door policy. So it provides an informal upward channel whereby the junior employee can go to his manager, can go to his senior boss and basically express out something to him or to her. That can also be a method of upward communication. And then lastly, number 5, direct correspondence. Direct correspondence is when the manager needs to clarify something from you. So you go and see the manager for such clarification purposes. That is why you see they say sometimes the manager may directly write to an employee and ask him to communicate with him. So when this happens, the manager has asked you to communicate with him, and when that happens, you do communicate with the manager, whether take the letter to him, whether make a phone call to him, whether go visit him one-on-one. Those are some of the methods that we put them under direct correspondence and also fall under the category of upward communication. So that is the second part of question 7. And then the last part of question 7, which is C, says, give 6 factors that could contribute to ineffective group communication. So first of all, you need to understand what group communication is. Group communication is that kind of communication that takes place within a team or within a group or within a number of people. A number of people that have a common goal, sitting together, sharing ideas, sharing opinions, sharing information. That is what we call group communication. So now the question is looking for factors that could contribute to ineffectiveness of such kinds of communication. Factors that could contribute to ineffective group communication. Number 1, lacking focus. When the members of the group lack focus, always there will be what we call misunderstandings, there will be miscommunications, and a lot of the time will be wasted whenever there's a meeting, whenever there's a certain kind of communication that is to be made. So at the end of the day, ineffective communication occurs as a result of lacking focus. And then inequality of members, when other members are seeing themselves superior than the others, because in groups, all members are equal, not unless if you are a committee, or maybe you are the team manager, or maybe you have a certain rank in the group. Maybe that can be understood. But if you don't have any position in the group, that means all the members of the group are equal, and all the members of the group are subjected to rules or to certain regulations and so on. So sometimes there's that feeling whereby others are seen inferior, others are seen superior, or others they take themselves as having more power than the rest, of which that can also bring about ineffectiveness in terms of group communication. And then personal issues, you have personal grudges with a member, maybe there's a member you clashed some way time back, and then the grudges that you have with this person, you bring them in the meeting. So assume all the members in that particular group are having grudges at a personal level. What happens? Everybody brings his issues here. Everybody brings his personal issues there with the other person. So at the end of the day, even discussing and having a good or effective discussion or effective communication becomes a problem. So that can also be a factor. And then an equal contribution, whereby some other members are allowed to give opinions, others are not allowed to give opinions. Others are allowed to contribute and others are not allowed to contribute. That can also bring about ineffective communication. So that is also a factor. And last but not least, poor leadership. And that is why I started by saying a group will always have a leader. Who is this leader? Can he lead or can she lead? Can he influence the group members in one or the other or not? Does he have the necessary skills that are needed for him to be a leader? Is he competent enough? Does he have the necessary expertise? Those are some of the things that you need to focus. Whereby if this leader is poor, doesn't have all those qualities I've just mentioned, then always the group will be ineffective in terms of communication. But if the leader is thumbs up in terms of competence, in terms of skills, in terms of expertise, in terms of leadership and everything, then the function of the group will be effective as far as communication is concerned. So all these factors will have a say. All these factors will affect how group communication will turn out to be. So that is our April 2022 paper, and this is our last question in that paper. See you in our next revision session. Thank you.